Okay, so hey guys, I wanted to do a different type of video today. I have a couple of mainstream scents and I have kind of like their dupes. I wouldn't really say that they're dupes. I guess they're kind of like to transition into indie fragrances. I would give like an example of if you like, like one mainstream perfume, then chances are you might really fall in love with this type of indie scent. So, kind of like mainstream to indie scent of what I believe it smells like. A lot of these are like they have very similar notes, or a lot of them just have the same vibe going on, or they're really similar to the point where if you do like that mainstream perfume, then you might like this indie perfume. So I know that it can get really intimidating because I was there in that boat. When I was barely getting into indies, I was so lost because there were so many notes and I didn't understand what I liked yet, really. I just had so many mainstream perfumes and I was realizing that I liked unique notes. So stuff that was like salt or ambergris or a lot of like musk or sandalwood. And I guess I probably would have gotten into niche if I had more money. but and honestly that would have just drained, my bank account too. But I think that you can get like those unique type of scents through indies, and I think that you get this whole other experience with indies, and it is very intimidating in the beginning. But this is just an idea if anyone is ever curious as to what they might like, and then once you find like a certain house that you build your confidence because you figure out like, oh, this smells a lot like something I do like maybe I can venture off into their house and see what else I will like from them. So it's just kind of to get you like into a stepping stone of trying new scents and figuring out what you like. So the first one I have is a lot of people like Tom Ford Lost Cherry, and I have a sample here. I never have purchased the actual bottle, but this is super popular and everyone loves cherry notes for some reason. This one has bitter almond liqueur, black cherry, sour cherry, plum, Turkish rose, jasmine sambac, tonka bean, vanilla, Peru balsam, cinnamon, benzoin, sandalwood, cloves, cedar, patchouli, and vetiver. So this is like very cherry. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it just real quick because I forgot to get paper and tester strips. And it's something that I usually do with mainstream perfumes, and I never do it with indies because I don't really have sprayers with indie perfumes. But for this one, yeah, this is like, this is very cherry forward. Very cherry, but a lot of people complain that this fades super quickly. And if you're not familiar with Tom Ford scents, they're very expensive and they're not, I wouldn't consider them niche, like just because I consider other fragrances that are way pricier niche. But I guess you can consider Tom Ford kind of niche. Anyways, one that I have that's very similar to this, like extremely similar. I have a sample of it because I don't have a full size. But this one is Alchemia's Cherries of Night. So this one is pretty much the same and if not better. The notes on here are a very naughty flirtation of black cherries, exquisitely bathed in maraschino liquor, cherry amber, musky black amber, dark spiced rum, warm nutmeg, and Peru balsam. So, this is, in my opinion, better. Oh, yeah, this is like if Lost Cherry had like this was like, I would say maybe like the daughter to the indie fragrance, because this is so much more spicy. It's so much more complex. Um, the Peru balsam comes through. The dark amber comes through. Um, and in the dry down, I get a very similar cherry, like realistic cherry scent that comes out in this. But this lasts so much longer. So Alchemia's scents, I think they're more perfumey, and I really feel like this cherry scent is kind of better than the Tom Ford version. So this would be the mom and this would be the daughter, in my opinion. So that is Alchemia Cherries of Night, and the mainstream perfume is Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Okay, so the next one I have is, this one was like all the rage a couple years ago when I started getting into indies. Well, when I started getting into fragrances in general, it was super popular, and for good reason. I really liked it, and this is something that introduced me to leather scents. This is Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Belle. So this one has pear, bergamot, floral notes, leather, vanilla, vetiver, amber, and musk. So this is very pretty. As you can see, I've almost used up like more than half the bottle. This is like one of my date night scents that I use a lot. And I really like this one. This is so pretty. This is very pear forward. This has a lot of like in the dry down, I could really get the leather. But if you're used to indies, the leather in here is like not enough. It's definitely not your typical like indie type of leather, because once you get introduced to leather from all these other houses, it makes this leather look like not even a trace of leather would smell like it's in here compared to an indie scent. And for me, this is really pretty. I really like this one. This is, one of the best going out like nighttime fragrances. It's sweet, it's pear, and it's a little slightly leathery. But what I really, really like, and what is kind of like, in my opinion, a little bit better, and it's a little bit more complex, it's another scent from Alchemia. It's Evil Temptress. And, a lot of people do like this one too. Yeah, this is very, it's one of my favorite scents, and it was one of the first ones that I got into when I started exploring Alchemia's house. This is one of my favorites. It's saffron, cinnamon, carnation, bourbon rose, pear, honey, cognac, cashmere and caramel, black opium, and patchouli. So there's no leather in here, but it gives me the same type of vibe. If you want like a sweet candied pear, I think that this is perfect. It's not as sweet as the Jean Paul Gaultier one, but it gives you the same kind of experience. Just this one is way less complex. It has way less notes. And this one is like a spicy concoction of like a candied pear, minus the leather note from the other one. But, and also I think that this one is like, in the beginning, it gives kind of like a little bit more masculine, like bite to it. Like there's something seductive in this one, and something kind of like evil, I guess, like bad. The other one is kind of like the sweet sister, and this is like the sweet younger sister. This is like the bad older sister. So in my opinion, if you want kind of like the same experience but a little bit more complex, I would go for Alchemia's Evil Temptress. So this one is Jean Paul Gaultier La Belle. The next one that I have for you guys, this one is really popular too. A lot of people like Kilian fragrances. I have here Back to Black. I don't have the original bottle, but I do have a lot of interpretations of the scent. I have the Dapper version. That's right here. This one is my husband's. I recently got him a Dua version too because they stopped making the Dapper version, and I don't know why, but he really likes this scent, and with very good reason. I'm not even going to spray it because it's so strong. This is white honey, tobacco, cherry, vanilla, raspberry, almond, gingerbread, amber, tonka bean, nutmeg, benzoin, chamomile, saffron, patchouli, cardamom, French, labdanum, oak, cedar, coriander, bergamot, and geranium. So this just screams honey to me and some sort of spicy, ambery, like slight coffee note. So in here, I just smell some dark honey, like really, really dark, dark honey. It's super realistic, actually. I think that's why people like this one so much because it's so strong too. I mean, the Dapper version lasts so long, and I can smell it on my husband like throughout the house if he's wearing like just one spray of it. So this one is really good. And the thing that I can get that's closest to this, and honestly, it's kind of a little, it's kind of fighting in between the two. It might be a little better. I recently discovered Arcana Craves, some of her collection, and this one is Honey Craves Coffee Shops. So that's what this one looks like, and it's really nice. This one is just, oh, it's so pretty. The notes on here are roasting coffee beans, honey drizzled cake, freshly baked vanilla cookies, soft overstuffed chairs, and a hint of steamed milk. So this is honey and coffee. Yeah, sweet honey and coffee. This is pretty much what I get. Like, and I would say that these scents are very similar, but they are slightly different. So, also, like, what I would like to do with these scents too is like, I have my mainstream perfumes and I have my indie perfumes, but I layer them. Like, if I want to have a big scent bubble, I'm going to put this on and then I'm going to spray myself with this. And it's a great combination because it just amplifies both scents and it gives you this amazing aroma that, you're not going to be able to achieve with just like one of the mainstream perfumes on you. So, but this Arcana Craves one is so good and it's really strong. I was wearing this one time and my husband could smell me like, you know, all day. And he was like, man, I could smell you. You smell really good. And it's deep, it's rich, it's a rich, deep coffee scent, but the honey is right there. And they're kind of like battling out for like the top, notes. And it's so decadent and thick and it's it's really nice, really dark. It's kind of like a sensual scent. It's intoxicating, and this one lasts 8 hours, I would say, on my skin. Because if I'm gonna put it on, like, I will smell like that all day, and probably even longer if you layer them and if you put them on together. So that's Back to Black by Kilian and Arcana Craves, Honey Craves Coffee Shops. That's that one. Okay, the next one I have is a really popular one too. Everyone's constantly talking about it. I have two of the versions right here. It's another Kilian scent, Love Don't Be Shy. So I have the oil here, and it's their impression from Oil Perfumery. And I also have the Dapper one, and this one is pretty much gone. Like, you can't really see the oil that much, but it's really pretty. So I get the same thing from both of them. I think this one is just a tad bit more floral than this one, than the Dapper version, but I get the experience. I understand what it smells like. Like, from just smelling these two together. So it's neroli, bergamot, pink pepper, coriander, orange blossom, jasmine, honeysuckle, rose, iris, sugar, vanilla, caramel, musk, civet, and labdanum. So this one is an orange. It smells like an orange, like marshmallow, or like some sort of orange creamy type of scent. If you've never smelled Love Don't Be Shy, I get that type of experience with this. Like, it's a sweet, orangey, kind of creamy popsicle, like kind of like those popsicles that you guys get in the summer. That's like a creamy orange sickle. So with that, thinking about that, I have Laurel and June's orange icebox cake. And Laurel and June, I don't know if they discontinued this scent. I I haven't gone back to their website to look to see if they have, but this is, in my opinion, like kind of very similar experience, except it's a little bit more gourmand. So this has fresh mandarin oranges, vanilla cake, and whipped cream. And I honestly kind of like this one a little bit more just because it's very gourmand. It's very, it's long lasting. This is super long lasting. I usually layer the two. Like if I really want to amplify it, I layer these two because I'll put this one on and then I'll spray this one. And it's so creamy and orangey and kind of fresh, and it's definitely like a orange icicle type of creamy ice cream that you would eat in the summertime. So if you like this, then you might like this one, the Laurel and June. So that's Dapper, Love Don't Be Shy, and Laurel and June Orange Icebox Cake. And I have one more. I know that a lot of people have been hyping this up, and I don't kind of understand why. I mean, I understand like these scents are super, they're not made anymore like some of these mainstream scents. Like once they're made, they're once they sell out of all of those bottles, like they no longer are made. So you have to really look for this type of scent. It's KKW Body 2. A lot of people like this. It's extremely popular, and it's gotten more and more popular like as the years go by. I don't know when this one exactly came out, but I do have right about like, I think I have just below here on the bottle, and it's really pretty. I mean, it's a really pretty summertime scent, but I could really get the same scent experience with some of my indie scents, and some of them just last so much longer. And since this bottle is so hard to find, I wanted to give you guys some options for these. Well, I do have just like one option that I think is pretty spot on the same. I have Cocoa Pink's A Day at the Beach. So the KKW Body 2, the notes are coconut nectar, neroli, mandarin orange, bergamot, manoi oil, ylang ylang, orange blossom, jasmine, coconut milk, musk, and ambrette. So that's what this has. And this is a creamy coconut. The manoi oil, I think, is what makes this scent. That's not a typical note that I have smelled in a lot of perfumes, and I think that is really what makes it. It's kind of like a suntanny, lotiony type of scent. But the neroli makes it kind of waxy, kind of clean, waxy. But then there's coconut milk in here, so it's a little bit creamy. Okay, so that's what you're getting with this. So this is the A Day at the Beach, and it's Cocoa Pink's A Day at the Beach. This has white sandcastles, lace, the shoreline, black-eyed sun, A black-eyed Susan daisies scatter gingerly among thin blades of dune grass. Hints of expensive creamy coconut milk flow through gentle breezes, and the indulgent aroma of smooth Madagascar vanilla beans complete this absolutely perfect day at the beach. So, if you guys want to have a similar experience as the KKW one, I would say that this is going to be one of the closest ones that I've found. And I really like summertime scents. I live in a very hot climate, so I'm always looking for summertime scents because it doesn't get really cold here in the winter and it gets super hot here in the summer. So that's the majority of the scents that I wear are summertime scents. Yes, this smells very identical to the KKW one. The KKW one is a little bit creamier, and this is a little bit more waxy. I think maybe it says it has the expensive coconut milk in here, and I can smell that. I think that's what I can kind of smell similarities in. It smells like an expensive tanning lotion. I can smell like if they have some sort of manoi oil note in there. I think it has this, and I think everything that's in there is very similar to the KKW one. The KKW one is just a little bit kind of creamy. There's some sort of creaminess. I think it's also the ambrette that's coming through here in the dried down. That's coming through a little bit more. But this, I think this is so pretty. The day at the beach is so creamy too and sandy, and it smells like you're wearing an expensive tanning oil lotion and you're sitting down at the beach, and there's flowers in the background too, neroli flowers. That's exactly what this smells like. It's not as sweet as the KKW one. It's a little bit waxy, like I said, because of the floral notes, but it's more sandy and waxy, and it's basically the same experience. I mean, it's a very close, like, maybe this one is, like, I would say this one is, it's very similar. Like, this one's here and this one is just right about here in like similarity, but they are extremely similar. And I think that Cocoa Pink has a lot of summertime scents that are similar to A Day at the Beach as well. So if you want to amp up like a frangipani note, or you want to amp up like a banana note in there, or some sort of driftwood or saltiness, you could definitely get that with Cocoa Pink because they have so many scents. So yeah, those are all the scents I have for you guys. I really like doing these types of videos where I could compare like mainstream and indies. If you guys have any other questions, I have more indie perfumes than I do, I think, mainstream now. But I'm well versed in the mainstream community as well. So if you guys have any more questions for me about them, or if you just want to have me do just regular house, indie house videos as well, I mean, those are coming too. I have a lot on the way. I have a lot more houses. I think that this year is going to be pretty big for indies because I think more people are getting into perfumes, and they might be getting a little bit tired of the same notes that are offered in mainstreams. And I think there's a lot of creativity in indies, and there's so much to learn in that world too. So I do not know everything. Believe me, I'm far from an expert on indies or mainstream, but I have learned so much. So I'm going to go ahead and keep exploring all these scents And if you guys have any other questions or any other ideas, just drop a comment down below. And thank you guys very much.